Hello everyone, this is part 2 video of expanding algebraic expressions, focusing on the double bracket expansion. Now let's consider this one example here before we actually move on to the double brackets. Now we learned this in the part 1 video, how to expand the single bracket. This actually means 5 times by a plus b. So that actually means we have about 5 groups of a and 5 groups of b. So when we expand it, it will become 5a plus 5b. Now we can also see this expression in another way. Technically, I can split the 5 groups into 1 groups and 4 groups, or I can split into 2 groups and 3 groups, or 0 groups and 5 groups. But for this case, we're going to actually say that I'm going to split into 2 groups and 3 groups. So if that's the case, I can rewrite this as 2 groups of a plus b plus 3 groups of a plus b. Now I can see this as another way. This 5, I can see it as 2 plus 3. So one step before that, I can say I got this 5 from 2 plus 3 first, and then multiply by a plus b. Now as you can see in the last expression here, it has double brackets multiplied together. That's what we are focusing on this lesson. We're going to actually learn how to multiply brackets and bracket. So let's use the same example here. So we have 2 plus 3 bracket times by a plus b. Now, from the previous example, we actually learned that this is actually same as 2 groups of a plus b and 3 groups of a plus b. So I can rewrite this as 2 groups of a plus b plus 3 groups of a plus b. Now we can actually expand each individual bracket. So the first one will give me 2 groups of a plus 2 groups of b plus 3 groups of a plus 3 groups of b. Now we can continue and collect the like terms. So 2a and 3a will give us 5a. 2b and 3b will be giving us 5b. Now, expanding double bracket means we are going from this bracket times bracket to the final steps. Let's have a look at the shortcut. In fact, this shortcut is actually using this idea. So we have x plus 3 times by x plus 5. So every single term in the first bracket must be multiplied by every single term in the second bracket. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with the first term in the first bracket and make sure that is actually multiplied by everything in the second bracket. So x times by x, make sure you draw the arrow, and plus x times by 5. Now we finish with the first term in the first bracket. Now we're going to focus on the second term in the first bracket and then make sure that is going to be multiplied by everything in the second bracket. So we have 3 times by x, so plus 3 times by x, and then plus 3 times by 5. So now let's tidy up a little bit further. We have x times x, x squared, plus 5x plus 3x plus 15. Now again, you're going to collect the like terms. So 5x plus 3x is 8x. So we have x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now, the idea behind it is how we explore it. And on the right hand side is a shortcut or the FOIL method that we usually learn in class to help us to reach the conclusion. Now let's have a look at these questions. What I would love you to do is actually pause the video here and try all these questions by yourself and then come back to check your answers. Now let's have a look at question A. Everything in the first bracket must be multiplied by everything in the second bracket. So we're going to start with the first term in the first bracket, x. So we have x times by x plus x times by 3. Now I'm done with that. So now I'm going to work on 2. So 2 times by x plus 2 times by 3. So we have x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6, and continues to make sure that you actually collecting a like term. So 3x plus 2x is 5x and plus 6. Now when you're fast enough, you can actually skip the first line of the working. Now let's have a look at the second one. Now this time I'm going to skip the first line of working. Now again, remember, starting from the first term in the first bracket, so it's x times by x, which is x squared, plus x times by negative 2. So that will give us negative 2x. Now I finished with x, now we're going to start with 5. So 5 times by x plus 5x. 5 times by negative 2, so that's negative 10. Now again, we're going to collect the like terms. So we have negative 2x plus 5x, which give us 3x, and everything else stays the same. Question C. You have x, start from the first term, in the first bracket, times by x, x squared, plus x times by negative 4, which will give us negative 4x. And the next one, we're going to look at the second term, which is negative 3. Please make sure that you attach that minus sign, treat it as negative this time, so you can put it in front of 3. So negative 3 times by x, so that will be negative 3x, and you have negative 3 times by negative 4. Now, negative 3 times by negative 4, negative times negative is positive, so it's positive 12, so you do plus 12. So therefore, the final answer should be x squared minus 7x, because negative 4, negative 3, plus 12. Now let's have a look at the next question. So you have 2a as a first term. So the process is exactly the same. So I have 2a times by 4a. I'm going to write the first step of working out here, everything this time, plus I have 2a times by negative 3. So I have 2a times by negative 3. And then I have 1 times by 4a, which is 4a itself. And I have 1 times by negative 3, so which is negative 3. Now, we're gonna actually tidy up a little bit more. So 2a times by 4a, 2 times 4 is 8, 8a squared. Now you have 2 times by negative 3, which give us negative 6, and we have a plus 4a minus 3. Collect the like terms again, so 8a squared remains the same. You have negative 6 plus 4, so that will give us negative 2a minus 3. Now, question E, and often students actually make quite a simple mistakes here. The bracket square actually means that bracket is multiplied by itself again. So it's actually y plus 3 times by y plus 3. So it's bracket times by bracket, so we need to expand it. So we're going to use the same method here. So y times y is y squared. Y times 3 is positive 3y. Now we're going to look at the 3 in the first bracket. So 3 times by y is 3y, and 3 times by 3 is 9. So collect the like terms again in the middle. So that will give us y squared plus 6y plus 9. Now please make sure that you know that a plus b squared means a plus b times by a plus b, and you have to expand the bracket. This expression does not equal to a squared plus b squared. So that is the common misconception that students have. So now let's have a look at question F. Again, this is the same as m minus 4 times by m minus 4. So you're going to expand the bracket. So m times by m is m squared. M times by negative 4 is negative 4m. Negative 4 times by m is negative 4m. And you have negative 4 times by negative. So negative times by negative will give us positive. So it's plus 4. So we tidy up a little bit. So that will be m squared minus 8m plus 4. Now let's have a look at the question G. Question G. Now, you start to realize there are 3 terms in the second bracket. But doesn't matter how many terms you have in the second bracket, you still have the same approach. Every single term in the first bracket must be multiplied by everything in the second bracket. What does that mean? So we're going to start with 2x. So this 2x multiplied by x, so that's 2x squared, 2x multiplied by y, so that's 2xy, and 2x times by -3, so that will be -6x. So you're done with 2x multiplied by everything in the second bracket. So now we're gonna go ahead with the second term, which is -1. So -1 times by x is -x. Negative times by positive is negative, so that's why it's -y. -1 times by -3, negative times negative is positive, so it's +3. So therefore, we can tidy up a little bit further because we can see that -6x and -x are the like terms. So therefore, it's 2x squared plus 2xy minus 7x minus y plus 3. Now the last question, you suddenly have a double brackets, take away double brackets. So what you need to do is you actually need to do one double bracket at a time. Now here, I want you to be careful something. So let's start with the first set of the double bracket. You're gonna put all of them into one giant bracket. So we have x squared, x times x, plus 4x, which is x times 4, and you have 2 times by x plus 2 times by 4, which is 8. Going to take away the entire answer after you expand the bracket. Okay, so let's do the second set of the double bracket. So you have x times by x, x squared, minus 5x, minus 2x, -2 times by -5 is positive, so it's +10. Okay, so what I have here is x squared plus 6x plus 8, and I'm going to take away everything inside the bracket, so which is x squared, if I collect the like term here, is -7x plus 10. Now we have x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now this is pretty much like there's an invisible 1 in front of the bracket. So if you expand this -1 times the bracket, everything inside the bracket will turn to opposite sign. So you have -1 times by x squared, which is -x squared. -1 times by -7 will become +7x, and you have -1 times by 10 will become -10. Now after this, we can actually collect the like terms. You can see you have x squared minus x squared, that's 0, and you have 6x plus 7x, which is 13x, and you have 8 minus 10, and that will give us -2. So therefore, at the end, the answer is 13x take away 2.